Okay, this is going to be video number 28 on your Firearms Defense channel. Okay, I want to talk about today some of the things you need to know to stay out of trouble a little bit. Now, I talked earlier about this book, How to Own a Gun and Stay Out of Jail. Now, that's unfortunately is the mindset here in California where I live. Now, in normal parts of the country where there's more normal people and they don't think a lot about concealed carry laws and people can have concealed carry and defend themselves, you don't have to worry about this so much, but that's the mindset out here. So what I'm going to tell you today, I'm going to tell you how to utilize your weapon for its intended purpose and stay out of jail. And that's the mindset I want you to acquire, is how to utilize your weapon. Now, I want to talk about some of the differences here. Let's say you're back in Heartland and Leroy pays a visit from the inner city and he goes to assault you with a knife and take your money, and you whip out your Glock 21 in 1.5 seconds and dump a magazine into him, and Sheriff Bubba's going to come over. He's over eating supper at the diner, and he's going to come over. And Sheriff Bubba is your range buddy. You and him shoot together all the time. And the first thing he's going to do is walk over there and say, "Wow, nice shooting." He's going to count the holes and look what the pattern is and say, "Yeah, 13 right and center mass, just like we do it at the range. You did real good here, Tom." And that's what's going to happen in Heartland. Now, if you're out here in California, it's going to be a little different. Now, in the first place, there aren't going to be 13 holes in it because you can't get a 13-round magazine out here. If you have a 13-round magazine in your Glock 21, you do 20 to life because that's illegal. You can only have a 10-round magazine there. So, if something like that happens out here, say you dump 10 rounds into Leroy and the police come and they're all upset and they're unhappy and they ask you, what happened, and you say, why, the police will say, "Why did you shoot him 10 times, and you say, "Gee, officer, I just, it all happened so fast, I just don't know what happened. I didn't know what I was doing, and he just wasn't stopping, and I just kept pulling the trigger until he stopped." That's the thing too. You don't say press the trigger, because then the police will know you know what you're doing. So I pulled the trigger, and they just, finally the gun went click, and he just, and you go on like that. You don't want them to think that you know what you're doing. So that's one of the things you have to be aware of out here. Now, you're probably going to have to hire a lawyer for this. Now, I'll tell you right up front, I don't think much of attorneys, and I don't think your attorney is going to be any big help. He's not going to take a big interest in you and your problem per se. What he's going to want to do is he's going to want to plead this thing down to manslaughter or maybe simple assault or whatever, and he's probably going to want to get you off with probation and this, that, and the other. And he's going to want to make a deal with the DA, and he's not interested in a trial or anything like that, because the truth be known, most attorneys, which is about 95% of them, aren't good trial lawyers. So that's what your attorney's going to want to do. Now, if you're interested in being completely exonerated, you're probably going to have to push to get the court dates, to get the trials, to get the continuances, to get all of this stuff. And that's another thing you're probably going to have to do too. If you want to be acquitted, you're probably going to have to get a whole bunch of continuances until all the witnesses and everybody else just loses interest and everybody else just disappears. And then maybe a year later after it happens, they'll make a deal with you and you'll get probation. So that's probably what's going to happen there. And it's the same thing with someone breaking in your house. Now, remember I said earlier in one of my videos I would never call 911 if somebody was breaking into my house. Well, you can't actually tell the police officers, well, yeah, officer, I didn't call 911 because I don't want you guys to get in the way. You can't tell them that. You just say, well, officer, this guy was breaking in, and it all happened so fast, and I was just scared, and I didn't have time to call 9, and I didn't think, you just go on and on like that, and just tell them I was just a poor, frightened homeowner, and I just didn't know what to think or how any of this was going to happen. And like another example I'll give you, like I gave Jane this Glock 21 to protect herself. If she actually ever had to use it and they visited me, I'd probably say, well, good riddance to that puke, nobody got killed. I mean, that would be my mindset, but that probably wouldn't, it would depend on my mood, though. If my mood was what it was, I'd probably say something like that. Yeah, well, so what? So, but I would probably say, well, officer, I've got 3 handguns here, and me and Jane shoot at the range a lot, and I just left it down there for her to have, to take to the range when we go, and gee, no, I never actually thought she would use it. I mean, she's a woman. I didn't think she could actually shoot anybody. I mean, gee, I'm just as surprised. You can go on like that and kind of save yourself a little aggravation. I mean, and what you'll be doing too, here's what you'll be doing too. A lot of times, if the police are somewhat normal human beings and they're not on the side of the felon, they may well be on your side. So maybe all you have to do is tell them what they want to hear. In other words, you don't give the police the impression that you're Mac Bolan, an executioner 25, and you dumped a magazine into this guy just like Mac Bolan would do it, or maybe you dumped a magazine into this guy just like Mason Storm would have done it in Hard to Kill number 10 or whatever. So you want to avoid this type of thing and giving this type of impression. And I didn't get my stopwatch, so I think I'm about 10 minutes into this. So I'm going to cut this off and look at it and post it and see how it went. And see you on the next